Uh, so when I say mea culpas, there were some things on this podcast, and probably not entirely on this podcast, that I've discussed. Probably more, maybe more so personally with you, Herschel, and other people, our official third co-host, Ehi, that I now realize that I need to sort of take back or reframe or just somehow mention in a different way because my thinking has evolved. So here we go. The first one is about Christianity. For the listeners who are not aware, I'm pretty atheist. I mean, probably agnostic is more accurate of a term, but I don't believe in anything. I guess technically,
you don't believe in anything, bro. You don't believe in yourself. I believe in you, Tunde.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. But no, I mean, in terms of religious sort of practice or any sort of religious teachings, I can't, man. I can't do it. And for various reasons, you know, I guess technically I identified as Christian into my 20s, but throughout my whole life, I just have never vibed with it. I've just never been fully in belief of, you know, Christian doctrine. It's not even so much about the Christianity. I just like, well, it is about the Christianity, but it's not so much about like the church going or the prayer, even though those I also don't like, but I just can't get with the fairy tales. You know, the one that I can't get over is how Moses split the Red Sea. And like when I read that when I was younger, I was like, there's no way this shit happened. Like, you guys are fucking liars. And if it did happen, it's some sort of natural phenomenon that you are somehow ascribing to God, but we'll put that aside for now. So my mea culpa is that I actually, you know, I used to be very like averse to like Christianity, you know, like I just, you know, like prayer and stuff, church, all that. I'm just like, you know, it's just not for me. And this is not, hopefully doesn't come across as discriminatory in any way. Like, practice what you want, live how you want. I don't care. It's just not for me. However, I realize that, you know, it's the same as any other identification. And this is where I've made a mistake. You know, I didn't.
Damn, police coming to get you, bro.
Oh,
we hear the sirens. After you started talking about this, they were like, nope, come get him. Nope. Mm-mm.
Well, Boston has a very like deep history of Catholicism, so maybe they don't play that shit. But to me, I've realized my mistake was that I didn't recognize Christianity as any other identifier. If someone says that they're black or gay or, you know, another religion that I'm not very as familiar with and not as averse to, for example, if someone says they're Muslim, you know, that's an identifier. You know, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're like fully entrenched in the doctrine of the religion. It's just a part of who they are. And, you know, I feel like I've needed to, it would behoove me to be more understanding of people who identify deeply with a religious orientation.
That's great, man. I'm glad you were able to admit that. I've been trying to get you on that board for a while.
What are you talking about, Herschel? You're also atheist.
Yeah, but I also recognize that there are positives to not only the identity side, but like, I mean, yeah, probably the biggest thing is, you know, that it allows people to create, you know, some form of community. Yeah, you know, it has been manipulated. Every institution is corrupt in some way, shape or form that benefits the institution and, you know, takes advantage of individuals. That's literally what all institutions do. But, you know, you got to recognize like, all right, you know, it's some shit that's positive. You know, they feed the homeless and, you know, their donations and things like that. But even beyond that, people involved in, you know, organized religion can find solace. You know, they can find meaning. We were talking earlier about people not being able to find meaning in shit. But like, if you can find it in something, you know, an identity in something, that's better than nothing. That's better than being listless. That's better than, you know, being a loner, a hermit out here, you know,
yeah,
trying to take down society for all the wrong reasons. So, I mean, I agree with you in that. Like, I don't agree with necessarily every single aspect of every single thing, but I think that it's important having an identity.
Yeah.
Props to you, bro.
fucking growth out here, man. But the thing that actually kind of like, and I've been contemplating this for a while, but the thing that really struck me was the Nashville shooting that happened in March. It was a Christian school, Christian elementary school or something like that. And I mean, first of all, any of these mass shootings are always so horrific, especially the ones in schools to kids. But then also for that particular shooting, there were instructors, teachers who were, of an older age in their 60s who were shot and killed. And, I think it's always horrible, but it hasn't been discussed this way. But to me, I was like, if this was some kind of target towards a Christian organization, that to me is just as bad as if it was a target to a Black community or a Jewish organization. I think that we maybe minimize people's Christian identification a lot in this country. And look, I'll leave it up to the authorities to determine whether it's a hate crime. But I think, and this is an atheist speaking to you, I think that, it feels almost like a hate crime towards Christians. I think that's fucked up. This country was founded upon freedom of religion, and the government is free of religion. It's not like there's no sort of religious doctrine that has formed our government. But that same principle means that you can do whatever you want, and people should be protected in practicing whatever religion. So, just as much as I feel people should be able to reject all of it, people can completely live their lives as religious practitioners, specifically Christianity, to be free from any kind of persecution because of it. So that's my mea culpa number 1.
All right, good stuff. Good stuff. What else you got?
All right, mea culpa number 2. So previously on the podcast, I have talked a little mess about Joe Biden being too old, being somehow cognitively impaired. And you know what? I don't think so anymore, man. I think he's totally fine. I think he should be elected on the merits of what he brings to the table as a current president and as a presidential candidate. But if you want to eliminate him specifically and only for his age, I think that's wrong. I actually didn't know, when I talked about this on the podcast, I didn't know that he grew up with a speech complication. I don't know exactly what it was. Maybe you've been stuttering or something, but in an older age, if you had some cognitive troubles as a child, it's going to probably, like all of the tools that you built over the years to counteract whatever those cognitive challenges or speech challenges were, there's going to be some degradation in those skills, those abilities. Like every person, suffers from some kind of cognitive decline because their brains are aging, so, but I think that to think of Biden as simply just completely far gone is a little unfair. Okay, fine. Yeah, maybe he has some cognitive decline. Maybe he even has like a legitimate diagnosis of mild cognitive impairment. I think it's highly unlikely that he has full-blown dementia, but it's not completely outside of the realm of possibility of normal aging, I guess you could say. And look, we talked shit on this podcast. I didn't talk shit because I think the fact that he was on a bike is great. But we were talking shit and people were talking shit about him falling off the bike a while ago. Bruh, when have you ever seen Donald Trump on a bike? When have you ever seen Nancy Pelosi on a bike? Riding the bike.
100 years old. Yeah, he did a great job. And then, but that's one of those things of like, him being such a public figure, they're picking up flaws. The same thing happened. Similar things happened to Obama of like wearing a tan suit and shit like that. Even though he was slick as fuck in that suit, it was just like, oh man, why is this even a media upheaval at all? But I mean, yeah, Joe Biden is old. We're looking for things to kind of tear him down, particularly the opposition. Like it happens on both sides. So I feel you. And yeah, I guess you're probably, having these feelings as we're approaching another presidential election, which is probably going to get ugly again. I mean, we got fucking multiple septuagenarians that are again running for office.
Biden's the octogenarian.
Octogenarian, excuse me. Is Trump an octogenarian now? I don't know how.
Not yet.
I mean, either way, these motherfuckers are old as fuck. Like it doesn't make any sense. This, we can't have this age representing us when the world has changed.
No,
so much.
No, man, no. See, this is where my mea culpa comes from. It sounds like you need one too, Herschel. But
maybe.
But I'm just like, look, we first of all fundamentally are an ageist society here in the United States, and we sort of like valorize youth. And look, being young is wonderful, fantastic, and young people are beautiful and they're superstars and megastars and actors and actresses and everything. But you want to become 60, you want to become 70, you want to become 80. Let's not try to act like we want to stop and be young forever and or God forbid, die young. Like, we want to get old. Aging is the goal. So when people have achieved that goal, we should respect them and we should revere them more. And I don't think, Nancy Pelosi is showing us that it's possible. She's old and she was, on the top of her game, still on the top of her game. I don't think that the age itself is the disqualifier. If someone is completely gone, or if they are not tapped into modern culture and society, if they are not aware of what the young people's needs are, then yes, maybe they should be, we should vote against them for those reasons. But simply and only because of their age is not fair, in my opinion.
Okay, I feel it. That is a bias that I have as a younger person. I mean, it stems from just thinking that, youth is better. There's always some new shit that we can learn from a younger generation. They're growing up with technology and the technologies and things that are easier for their brains to comprehend than, some new shit that is popping off for us. One, we can't do the new dances and shit, let alone run TikTok.
Man, speak for yourself, bro. Shoot, I'm out here.
You out here getting sturdy. Okay. You really know the body yaddy dance.
Really. I don't even know what that is.
The little Uzi Vert, you got it. Oh, I was just checking, man. I don't know. I would love to see Joe Biden bust that out, man. That would be wild.
That would be tight. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm gonna let Biden do his thing, man. I feel like we just wrote him off. He's done. He's demented. He's he can't think. He can't talk. And look, he has mistakes. He makes mistakes. But like when you put it up against Trump, I mean, there's no competition. Trump, may not be as sort of cognitively challenged, but he is challenged in other areas. His personality, he's, in my opinion, a narcissist, which is worse. So I don't know. That's my second mea culpa. Biden, I'm sorry.
I'm sure he accepts. All right, what else you got? Was it three?
Three mea culpas. Here's the last one.
Okay.
So I've said on this podcast, maybe not fully completely, but I've shown some. I've been against TikTok. I've expressed.
Nah, bro, I can't let you do this. Can't let you do this. I'm gonna stop you right there. Are you about to mea culpa TikTok, bro? Are you about to say actually TikTok's not that bad, bro? Have you been co-opted by CCP, bro? Blink twice if they got you fucked up. I know we were talking about them earlier. Is that what it is? So you're bro, I'm the not script going. Oh, I'm not fentanyl. No, fentanyl is bad, but TikTok, you can get on that.
No, I'm not mea culpaing TikTok.
TikTok is a weapon of mass destruction. You heard it here first. I said it. That's right. And they're trying to shut that shit down in the United States. I think Tennessee banned that shit. I want to say Kentucky, some other states. Look it up. Look the shit up. But TikTok is on its way out. I hope. Fingers crossed.
Well, there is an article actually. It's called TikTok is a time bomb. It's on this Substack writer who I think is pretty good. He goes by Gurwinder, and he calls it the ultimate weapon of mass distraction, which I think is totally fair. But my thing is, I don't think that we should outright straight up ban TikTok. And I don't know if I've said it on the podcast, but there was a time when I felt like we should ban TikTok, like straight up. But there was this bill introduced into Congress. I forget the name of it, but it was basically like a bill to ban TikTok, but it wasn't just TikTok. It was like some sort of internet surveillance type thing. And I didn't read it, so I'm maybe talking about out of my ass a little bit about it right now. But there was commentary about it, and the commentary essentially said that it was just going to expand the surveillance state to a significant degree. So that changed my mind. But then I realized the people that ban things is the CCP. Like, as bad as TikTok is, and I 100% believe that it is a weapon of mass distraction, not just in terms of the actual like using of the TikTok, but the messages that are being communicated across TikTok and Instagram. Homegrown Instagram, I think, is also pretty bad, but TikTok somehow has achieved a new level of social media bullshit. And I do think that it's a bad thing, and it probably to some extent is corrupting the minds of our young people in this nation. But banning it is not the solution, because that's what authoritarian governments do. Okay, now there's a conversation to be had about the data collection, issues and whether there's like a surveillance issue going on. I mean, I don't know how much China can actually influence people based on the data they provide to an app here in the States. Now, if they go to China, yeah, maybe that data could be weaponized against them, but I'm pretty sure you don't need a freaking app, a TikTok app to have data weaponized against you in China. So there's that conversation to be had. But in terms of the actual content, we shouldn't ban it. We are a free nation with free thought, free speech. People should be able to access all of that bullshit. Anything that's not outright harmful, people can't be on the internet telling other people to kill themselves or telling you how to make bombs and shit. But anything short of outright harm, we just have to let people wade through the bullshit themselves. And the other issue, in my opinion, with banning TikTok is that we're not doing the hard work. This is one of the biggest problems that we have in this country, is that we are always looking for short-term solutions. We're not doing the hard work of changing people's hearts and minds to not use TikTok because of the problems of TikTok. We are not convincing young people to not use TikTok. We have to have a national conversation. We have to persuade people. Our leaders, our elected officials need to persuade people like you and me who are on podcasts, have to persuade people to not use TikTok. We can't just outright ban it, because that takes the decision away from the individual. And this is what our nation has been built on, is individual liberty. You can do what you want as long as you're within the law. And yes, our laws are jacked up. A lot of them are jacked up, but within the law, you can do whatever you want. And to think that you can somehow protect us by banning TikTok is to me a fallacy, because it shirks the responsibility of doing the complicated work of changing hearts and minds. So that's my third mea culpa. TikTok shouldn't be banned.
Okay, yeah, I feel that. But see, I think that another issue is that we don't know like the true extent to what's happening with TikTok. Like that, it's all speculative that, how much data they're collecting, and even the shit that they're showing us or showing people that are on TikTok, because I'm not on that shit. Like, okay, is it an algorithm that's identifying, oh, well, this person likes these types of videos, so we're going to show them more of these, which, yes, that is certainly an aspect of the videos or of the algorithm. But is it also, filtering in things that, are designated by CCP to create, unrest and upheaval? That's where, the concern, that's where the ticking time bomb, I think, kind of comes into play. I guess I kind of feel you that maybe it shouldn't be outright banned, but like, I am also a proponent of just like, educate people on the dangers of social media, like of the fact that it's not reality. But even there, we're living in a society where like AI is popping up every fucking where. Before, it wasn't even just AI. It was green screens where like Dude Perfect and all these internet videos of like, oh man, throw this football 1,000 yards and it'll magically go right into this perfect thing. Nah, that was a green screen. Like you didn't even make that shot. Like you did it for the views and clicks. But now people are
really
thinking, bro,
I thought the videos were real.
Nah, some of them, but then sometimes they will also use a green screen, and it's not just them either. These are basically businesses. People are developing businesses to, create content and create revenue based on, fooling people on the internet. That's all it really is. That's what it boils down to. The money being made, and people are, profiting off of Instagram, profiting off of TikTok, profiting off of YouTube, shit like that. And I mean, it's all happening too fast. I think that's kind of the situation. The internet and we've discussed this, the internet age, social media age has happened so fast that, the government can't get a handle on it. And that's why proposals for banning shit have popped up, because it's like, all right, well, we got to stop this somewhere. And then you get the authoritarian regime of like, all right, now we can't have any of this because it's already unregulated. And, 80% of us, actually, no, I shouldn't say a statistic to it, but like a lot of people don't want regulation anyway. So, it's a fucked position. And then, you already have situations where like the legislative branch is out here and, Congress and whatever is not doing shit anyway. So, oh man, well, we have this war, and, now we've got powers where the president can drone strike a motherfucker whenever they want, or other just ethical issues that are super slow that society, because it's moving so fast, we don't give a fuck about, like the Supreme Court ethical issues and, Roe v. Wade and shit like that. And now, we're beyond it by a year or so. And yeah, people still care. And hopefully people will continue to, or will vote and, try to get some change happening. But Supreme Court doesn't give a fuck. They're out here doing whatever they want. The president, whether it's Obama, whether it's Trump, whether it's Biden, whether it's whomever, now that they have carte blanche to, make executive military action because it's quote unquote warranted before Congress can get their shit together to, make a decision on a war move, whether some target should be taken out or not. They're just pulling the trigger. That's the world that we live in, where it's, everything is damn near instantaneous. Information, death, life, all of it. Shit, I can order some shit on Amazon and have it before the end of the day today if I want it. That's, we live in a society that's too fast. And it's only going to get faster once we can damn near, buy something on Amazon and then be able to 3D print the shit in an hour at home type shit. That's where we're headed, where it's akin to a teleporter, just where some shit arrives to your door. It's, how far are we from teleportation for real anyway, if I can have it within a couple of hours, when before, not only would it take me, a drive to the store or whatever, or order it from wherever the fuck, but I can get some shit from anywhere in the world, basically. That's hyperbole in itself, but like, how do you stop it, man? How do we get ahead of this? And, personally, how do we fucking profit off of it? That's the real thing. That's where legislation and things are happening. If the US government, because I think one of the things about TikTok was like, oh man, they were trying to get them to sell it. They were trying to force them to be like, nah, get this out of here. We understand that it's being run by the Chinese government, but if you sell it to someone else, we, no harm, no foul. It's all good. It's whatever, because we understand capitalism.
I know, right?
But, they weren't going to do that because it's a resource for the Chinese government. For CCP, they understand what the fuck time it is. So, it's a money issue. That's the real thing. Yeah, it's national security, and the idea would be to defend against it would be like, flood it with bots and misinformation and nonsense, so that whatever they're capturing becomes that much more diluted, that much less useful for real. But like, we're really good. These surveillance scientists, we're gonna find what it is we need to. We're going to build models off that shit. It might not be correct. No model is correct, but you can learn something from all of them. There's some informative information in there.
Agreed. Yeah. Well, you're just describing a lot of complexities, and, complex things don't require, they don't benefit from short-term or band-aid solutions like banning shit. And
True.
There's, I don't want to get too conspiratorial right now, but there's been some reporting, specifically the Twitter files, about the surveillance. Snowden obviously is there, and then this most recent leak,
oh, bruh, yeah, Motherfuckers leaking shit. Oh yeah, did we discuss this? It may have been in a text thread, but basically motherfuckers releasing government military intel on fucking Discord servers, on gaming chats for clout. Bro, what? For clout. He didn't even make money off the shit. He was just like, nah, man, I actually got the intel on where the Ukrainians and the Russians are. I know what the supply lines are. Like, bro, what the fuck? How are we this dumb? But yeah, it's going to be somebody out here doing that. Eventually, we will have a president that had a TikTok account.
I mean, doesn't the president already have a TikTok account?
I don't know. No, I mean, but like as a child, like they grew up with Facebook and Instagram and like all the toxic shit that we have on our social medias that we've tried to like scrub because
that's a good point.
We're professional adults. Eventually, this motherfucker is going to be like, well, I got caught up in it too, doing stupid shit on the internet because that's what you do on the internet. Stupid shit.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. Well, I think, I
love the internet, by the way. It's great for stupid shit.
It is, man. It's great to examine and view stupid shit, but not to personally indulge because that shit will get you canceled very fast. Anyway, that's what you get on this podcast. We're not always right. You know what I'm saying? We don't fact check real time, but we are coming with knowledge. But sometimes, we change and we evolve, and sometimes we got to make a mea culpa.
Look at the growth.
Look at the growth.
Yeah. Speaking of growth, though, I'm excited about this outro.
Oh shit, we do have an outro. Actually, I'm actually gonna drop this as a second podcast because we just did 30 minutes. I thought it was gonna be 10 minutes, but either way, check out the outro. I guess I could cut.
You can put it on both. Yeah, put this shit on both, bruh. Blast that shit. Shout out to Blackman Sound Productions.
Yes, sir. Justin Blackman, Blackman Sound Productions. Appreciate the music.
Yo.
Anyway, you know what it is. #RTBTH. Real talk beyond the headlines.
Peace.
Peace.
You heard it here first.
Check us out. Check us out. Check us out. That's what I do. That's how
Hey man, it's gonna make your head
check
explode.
us out. Check us out. 5 letters, 5 words.